Hello friends, today we're going to do day 2 of Tokusatsu week, which, by the way, is not going to take 5 days because I don't have 5 games, but thought I would do this for a little bit. I think this is going to be a short video because I haven't played in a while, and also, I already did overviews and everything for this game, but let's go ahead and check out the DLC. Give me a sec here. There we go. Alright. So I bought the season pass back when it came out. I actually bought it twice because I didn't know this was coming out in English. So we're gonna play as Ultraman today. Ultraman's actually the first Tokusatsu I watched. It's pretty much that in Godzilla. Contrary to popular belief, it was not Power Rangers. It was a combination of Ultraman and Godzilla because my grandpa watched them when I was young. So go ahead and play as Ultraman. Make sure he's leveled up. Yeah, okay. So the DLC actually adds new levels and new enemies, but it's like pretty hard to do at base. So we're just gonna do the first level here. I really wish the Steam version of this game was able to be bought outside of Southeast Asia and Japan, because the emulator kind of struggles with this game a little bit. It is on Unity, so you can uncap the frame rate, but what ends up happening is it runs like way worse. I don't know why. It's very strange. I'm trying to fix it in the middle of the video. Yeah, if you try to play above 60 FPS, it drops frames a ton. It's like stutters a lot. I don't know how to fix that. You're just gonna deal with it for now. Yeah, this game does have an actual official PC port, but it's region locked, so good luck getting your hands on it. I don't know what it is with Ryujinx and Yuzu, but when you try to uncap frame rates on certain games, it just runs worse, which is weird, because, like, the computer's not taxed playing this at all. But it's whatever. This game doesn't really need, you don't need to have a consistent frame rate like, you know, Street Fighter or Overwatch or something. A little bit annoying, yes, but not at all necessary. So we're just gonna grin and bear it. I've really only had a couple games on from my personal Switch dump collection that actually run above 60 FPS with no problems. Memory of Heroes has this kind of issue as well, to a lesser degree. That feels like a CPU bottleneck. It happens a lot less now that I got a better processor in here, but Seems like just Unity and Unreal Engine games in general, it's kind of a crapshoot if it'll actually work. It'll actually work if you try to play above 60. This is attack speed. You know we like attack speed in these parts. I'm taking that. I actually thought this game was a pretty good roguelike. It definitely suffers from having really bland meta progression that's strictly stats. I'd say that's probably the worst thing about this game. The meta progression is just generic stat boosts. It doesn't really change the way that the game is played. However, on the upside, it means that the meta progression is not required to beat the game. There's no thinly veiled grind in this. You could beat it on your first playthrough if you were good enough and you picked the right items. So I actually really like that part of it because a lot of roguelikes these days have thinly veiled grinding, where they make it seem like you can do it with skill, but you actually can't. They definitely could have made the meta progression more fun to kind of encourage you to keep playing, but for what it's worth, I got through this game pretty quick just with beat-em-up experience, and I definitely really appreciated that. Roguelikes these days are at odds with each other because they want player retention, you know, for the updates and the DLC and stuff, but then, you know, they do it in a way where it's basically forced to grind, and you can't do it with skill. So this game was pretty refreshing, despite not being the best roguelike. The items and the meta progression are pretty boring, but it is what it is. I still enjoyed this game a lot. I definitely think I would have played it more if the roguelike aspect of the game had been improved a bit, so, you know, maybe there were some new properties or moves that you could learn in the meta progression, or, like, new mechanics or something, or, more interesting builds. But it's really hard to make a roguelike in general that, is actually skill-based and not fake skill-based. And then also have interesting builds as well. Generally you get one or the other, not both. I think BlazBlue Entropy Effect, which is also another action roguelike that came out this year, and one of my games of the year, definitely struck that balance quite a bit better. You know, because you have a very responsive character, so you can dodge every attack. You know, it's going to be harder, yes, but there's nothing stopping you from doing it. It says a lot that this game has, you fight the spider augment from the movie in the tutorial, and you can actually beat that fight even though it's a scripted loss. Of course, you still die for the purpose of the story, but it gave me a very good first impression when I did that. I'm like, wow, I was expecting it to just not let you do that. Also, for a movie tie-in game, I don't know if you guys saw the movie. The movie is available legally on Amazon Prime Video, so if you like what you see and you want to watch the movie, the game is actually a really good movie tie-in. So, when I went to go see the movie in, what was it, like April or May, it actually spoiled most of the plot. I'm like, wow, this was better than a lot of the movie tie-ins I grew up with as a kid. You know how jank those games were. It only took like 30+ years for there to be a good movie tie-in game. GoldenEye doesn't count. GoldenEye is a fake movie tie-in game because it came out like 2 years after the movie. This was out the same time as the movie. For what it's worth, the movie is basically structured like a beat-em-up anyway, so I think that actually helps things. The movie is basically a beat-em-up with live-action actors and more plot than you're used to, but kind of do just go through a bunch of bosses. Well, there's some Ultraman DLC. I'm gonna go ahead and stop there because the game looks really choppy on my end, and I'm gonna try to look up some info on how to fix that because I would like to play this more, but the only way that I can play the DLC is on the emulator, pretty much, because I don't want to play at 30 FPS, and if I uncap it past 60, it starts to, like, stutter a lot. So I'll have to see if maybe there's some kind of blanket way to fix that, because I think pretty much all the games that are on Unity have this problem to a degree. However, I did buy Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate last month, and there's a 120 FPS mod for that. I also got Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze off the Black Friday sale, and that works fine. So it seems like the most commonly used engines for like smaller games like this, meaning Unreal Engine 4 and Unity, have this problem. I'm going to look up if there's some kind of way that I can fix that, and if there is, we'll do more of this, but for now, I'm going to go ahead and stop for today. This is going to be day 2 of Tokusatsu Week. Tomorrow should be either Battle for the Grid or Batride War Genesis, which neither of those games have this problem, so that should probably be a longer video. In any case, thanks for watching. I definitely recommend this game if you can get it on sale. I believe it's still on sale on the Hong Kong eShop, so if it is, it's well worth the money. Just a word of warning, the DLC characters do play unique, but their skill trees are also just basic stat progression as well, so it's pretty boring. I definitely think that's one of the things they should have expanded upon in this game, but you know, there's so few skill-based roguelikes these days. I think the fact that they managed to make a pretty good beat-em-up roguelike, even if it doesn't have the depth and build variety and meta progression that you want, I still think we should support something like this, even just on the basis of it not being a Kamen Rider game. This is one of the best Kamen Rider games to come out in a long time, but it's also a pretty good beat-em-up roguelike as well, if you can get past its faults. Thanks for watching.